What's good, YouTube? Sensational Sasg here, and I'm back with another Time Clancy's The Division Vendor Reset video. We're here for November 20th, 2020's Vendor Reset. So let's get right into this and see what we got good for this week. For our first gear items, you want to head over to Camp Hudson. Here, the weapons vendor has a military RPK-74M. Here goes the stats right here. For our next gear items, we're still at Camp Hudson. Head over to the gear vendor here. We got a prototype performance mod with 6.50% Seeker Mine explosion radius. For our next gear items, you want to head over to the meat locker. Here, the weapons vendor has a loud vent break with 18% crit hit damage, 3% crit hit chance, and 2% accuracy. For our next gear items, you want to head over to the base operations. Here, the Dark Zone gear vendor has a prototype firearms mod with 262 firearms and 2.50% exotic damage resilience. And also here, we got a Tyrant Suppressor with 7.50% crit hit chance, 2.50% stability, and 4% crit hit damage. For our next gear items, we're still at the base operations. Head over to the gear vendor here, and we got a prototype performance mod with 6.50% support station range. For our next gear items, we're still at the base operations. Head over to the advanced weaponry vendor, and here's a Super 90 you can check out right here. Also here, we got a Model 700. Also here, we got an extended magazine with 112% magazine size, 5% reload speed, and 4% crit hit damage. Also here, we got a 5.52 hollow sight with 7.50% crit hit chance, 4.50% optimal range, and 2% accuracy. For our next gear items, we're still at the base of operations. Head over to the special equipment vendor, and here we got a historian. Here's the stats for this. Also here, we got a Cassidy with a nice roll on it. Also here, we got a pecan. If you're a fan for this weapon, here's one for you. Also here, we got a converted USC. Also here, we got a military L86 LSW. Here's the stats for this. Also here, we got a Spec Ops mask with the Talent Enduring on there. Also here, we got an operator pack with the Talent Relentless. Also here, we got a prototype performance mod with 5% support station healing speed. For our next gear items, we're still at the base operations. Head over to the special blueprints vendor, and here we got a Snug Rhino blueprint with a gear score of 256. We also got a military M9 blueprint with a gear score of 256. We also got some stamina gloves blueprint with a gear score of 256. And then also here we got a small laser pointer blueprint with a power level 34. For our next gear items, you want to head over to the cavern. Here, the gear vendor has a prototype performance mod with 7% turret duration. For our next gear items, you want to head over to Camp Clinton. Here, the special equipment vendor has a historian here for you. Also here, we got a pecan if you like to run this weapon. Also here, we got an Mp5 St. Here's the stats for this. Also here, we got a tactical mask with the Talent Enduring on here. Also here, we got an operator pack with the Talent Relentless. Here's the stats for this. Also here, we got some Spec Op gloves with the Talent Savage on there. Here's the stats. Also here, we got a prototype performance mod with 7% turret health. Also here, we got a heavy magazine spring with 5% reload speed, 4% crit hit damage, and 10.20% rate of fire. For our next gear items, we're still at Camp Clinton. Head over to the special blueprints vendor, and here we got a military M9 blueprint with a gear score of 256. We also got some electronic gloves blueprint with a gear score of 256. And then also here, we got a quick release magazine blueprint with a power level 34. For our next gear items, you want to head over to Wolf's Den. Here, the weapons vendor has a Marine Super 90. Here's the stats for this if you run shotguns. For our next gear items, you want to head over to Madison Stand. Here, the gear vendor has a tactical mask with the Talent Enduring on there. And also here, we got a prototype performance mod with 3.50% ballistic shield damage. For our next gear items, you want to head over to the last call. Here, the weapons vendor has a black market Sasg 12S. Here's the stats for this. For our next gear items, you want to head over to the Southpaw. Here, the gear vendor has a tactical mask with the Talent Tenacious on there. For our next gear items, you want to head over to the Grindhouse. Here, the weapons vendor has a heavy magazine spring with 2.50% crit hit chance, 11.50% magazine size, and 10.30% rate of fire. For our next gear items, you want to head over to the Firewall. Here, the Dark Zone gear vendor has a Spec Ops mask with the Talent Refreshed on there. Here's the stats. And also here, we got a prototype stamina mod with 252 stamina and 3,290 skill power. For our next gear items, you want to head over to West 31st Street checkpoint. Here, the Dark Zone vendor has a prototype electronics mod with 257 electronics and 1% crit hit chance. For our next gear items, you want to head over to West 34th Street checkpoint. Here, the Dark Zone vendor has a Navy Mp5 Here's the stats. And also here we got a VX1 scope times 12 with 18.50% headshot damage, 5% optimal range, and 2.50% stability. For our next gear items, you want to head over to West 42nd Street Checkpoint. Here the Dark Zone vendor has a black market Sasg-12S. Here's the stats for this for some PvE action. Also here we got an operator mask with the talent rehabilitated on there. Also here we got a prototype performance mod with 4% mobile cover damage resilience. For our next gear items, you want to head over to West 53rd Street Checkpoint. Here the Dark Zone vendor has the prototype performance mod with 6% sticky bomb explosion radius. For our next gear items, you want to head over to East 64th Street Checkpoint. Here the Dark Zone gear mod vendor has a prototype performance mod with 3.50% turret damage. For our next gear items, you want to head over to East 61st Street Checkpoint. Here the Dark Zone weapon mod vendor has a SR7 suppressor with 19% crit hit damage, 4.50% optimal range, and 3% crit hit chance. For our next gear items, you want to head over to East 58th Street Checkpoint. Here the Dark Zone gear vendor has a tactical mask with the talent Tenacious on there. Here's the stats. Also here we got an operator vest with the talent Reckless on there. For our next gear items, you want to head over to the Park Ave Checkpoint. Here the Dark Zone weapons vendor has a tactical MK16. Also here we got a classic M44 carbine. Here's the stats. For our next gear items, you want to head over to East 53rd Street Checkpoint. Here the Dark Zone vendor has an M700 tactical. And also here we got a prototype stamina mod with 259 stamina and 2,917 health. For our next gear items, you want to head over to East 46th Street Checkpoint. Here the Dark Zone vendor has a tactical AUG A3P. Here's the stats. Also here we got an operator mask with the talent Enduring on there. For our next gear items, you want to head over to East 42nd Street Checkpoint. Here the Dark Zone vendor has a lightweight M4. Here's the stats for this. For our next gear items, you want to head over to East 40th Street Checkpoint. Here the Dark Zone vendor has a prototype performance mod with 3.50% sticky bomb damage. For our next gear items, you want to head over to East 34th Street Checkpoint. Here the Dark Zone vendor has a tactical Vector 45 ACP. Also here we got a prototype electronics mod with 261 electronics and 2.50% exotic damage resilience. For our next gear items, you want to head over to East 31st Street Checkpoint. Here the Dark Zone vendor has a Gunslinger Vest with the talent Rapid on there. And also here we got a prototype performance mod with 3.50% ballistic shield damage. For our next gear items, you want to head over to the 5th Ave Checkpoint. Here the Dark Zone vendor has a tactical pack with the talent Inventive on there. Here's the stats for this. And also here we got an extended magazine with 115% magazine size, 3% crit hit chance, and 5% rate of fire. For our next gear items, we're going to head over to DZ2 Safe Room. Here the Dark Zone gear vendor has a Spec Ops mask with the talent Refreshed on there. Here's the stats. Also here we got an operator pack with the talent Relentless on there. And also here we got some tactical gloves with the talent Savaged on there. For our next gear items, you want to head over to DZ3 Safe Room. Here the Dark Zone weapons vendor has a Lova C. Here's the stats for this. Also here we got an M700 carbon. And also here we got a black market M60 E6. For our next gear items, you want to head over to DZ4 Safe Room. Here the Dark Zone gear mod vendor has a prototype performance mod with 7.50% mobile cover health. For our next gear items, you want to head over to DZ5 Safe Room. Here the Dark Zone weapon mod vendor has a Tyrant Suppressor with 7.50% crit hit chance, 4% crit hit damage, and 6% headshot damage. For our next gear items, you want to head over to DZ8 Safe Room. Here the Dark Zone vendor has a tactical mask with the talent Tenacious on there. Also here we got an operator vest with the talent Rapid on there. Also here we got an operator pack with the talent Specialized. Alright everybody, that's it for our Tom Clancy's The Division vendor reset video for November 20th, 2020's vendor reset. I hope everybody who tuned into it found them something that they needed. Smash on that sub and like button, y'all. Appreciate that support. Check me out on Twitch, check me out on Instagram and Twitter. I'll be on there every now and then. And let me know what y'all think about the new way I'm doing the videos to get through them real quick. If y'all think I should go back to the original way or what, I appreciate the feedback. And I will see y'all with the next one, everybody. Take care. Peace.